And you're unique and you're you for a reason. So don't take the opinion of somebody else as gospel.
Yeah.
You need to realise that that doesn't define you. That's just a moment. It's fine. We move on. And I think it takes a long while to get there.
It does.
Ready to go learn how to live healthier, wealthier and wiser as an artist in showbiz? Hey, I'm Lara Bianca Pilcher. I'm crazy about helping artists to live out their creative dreams and nurture themselves at the foundation of their creative career. I'm an artist, actor and showbiz educator with over 20 years in the arts and entertainment industry in London, Australia and now Atlanta, USA. I'm here to show you how to navigate this topsy-turvy world called showbiz, uncover the secrets of success, unlocking the powerful artist you are. I've done it all. Performed and worked in TV, film and stage. Produced, directed, choreographed, toured and moved. Run a studio, cast shows, auditioned, self-tape, educated, navigated the press and critics, arts branding, marketing and all the hoo-ha, while maintaining a happy marriage with 2 gorgeous kids. And there will only be real talk here, friends. Think of this podcast as a masterclass in helping you build your creative career while also learning how to holistically navigate the artist life. This is the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist Podcast.
I'm here with this gorgeous Carole Stennett, who is a West End actress. She has starred in some incredible things. She's been Rachel Marin, is that right, in The Bodyguard, which is the best role, and Nala in The Lion King on West End. Which is super cool. So
Thanks for having me, Lara.
I wanted to ask you just about your journey and your life. And I mean, you seem to be constantly working, which is so rare and such a gift. So tell me about you as a creative in London.
I tell you, I have to start from the beginning then, because my journey has been incredible.
It has.
I really, when I sometimes think back at how I started, where I am now, and as you said, I have been very fortunate, very blessed to kind of be constantly in shows.
Yes.
I've had some downtime. At the beginning, I started off as a community consultant.
No way.
For a diversity company years. It feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And I remember just not being happier there anymore. I was doing it because when you finish university, you need to get a job. My parents said you need to get a job. So that's what I did. But it was just a 9 to 5, having to get on the tube when it's in rush hour, smelly arms, all of that. It wasn't for me, but it's what you do. And I remember one day being at my desk and reading the Voice newspaper, and it had an open audition for The Lion King. And I was like, oh, imagine if I could be in The Lion King.
Are you serious?
It did. But I just thought, you know what, there's no point. I've not got any experience. I did A-level drama, but I didn't think, because I hadn't gone and done performing arts at university, I did mass communications and film studies because I wanted to be a film director. So how I ended up as a community consultant, I don't actually know.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just thought, you know what, there's no point in me going because I don't have experience. But then something in my head said, you know what, I don't want to reach 55 and think, what if only. So I thought, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go ahead, sing a song, see what happens.
Brave.
It was
you just went and sang a song.
Yeah, so I went in, sang my song, and they were like, okay, fine. And they gave me some material to learn. Yeah. It was Shenzi at the time. So and went back and I learnt it, went back in, and they were like, okay, fine. But I didn't get the job. I think they said something along the lines of that no one was leaving that year, or I didn't understand musical theatre and how it works really. So I don't know if it was for the actual part of Shenzi, or if it was for a swing, or if it was for ensemble. I wasn't sure. But anyhow, I didn't get it. Thought nothing else of it.
Which probably makes us all go fuel, because all the drama grads are there going, hey, I've done my 3 years. Who's this girl once again?
So I thought no more about it, went back to my day job, and I feel like it was about a month or 2 later, I got a call asking me if I'd be interested in auditioning for the French version of the show. Whoa. Because they had, at Disneyland Paris, they had a condensed version of The Lion King. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I went over to Paris. I auditioned. I didn't get it. They told me to go away and work on my dancing because, I mean, I can, you go into a proper party left and right, that's fine. But in terms of choreography and learning moves just like that, I was a bit, what the heck's
going on here?
So, so I went away and did that. And
did you go and do class?
I did. I started doing classes, went to Pineapple Studios. So I learned a bit of ballet, and I was like, what's going on here?
I'm going to work hard at this because I'm going to be a Lion King.
one day I'll make it. And then they called me back again about maybe 6 months later. They called me back for the French version again, and I went in and sang, did a bit of movement, and then I'll never forget sitting. It was myself just sitting on a chair in front of about, I think, 4 or 5 people on the panel, and they were like, okay, so this job is obviously based in France, and how would you feel about moving to France? Would that be an issue for you? And I was like, no, I'd love to. It'd be a great experience. I'd love to learn more about the culture, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, we'd like to offer you the job.
Just like that.
So I was like, really? Because I thought it was a no. But then I should have known that the fact they were sitting down and asking me all these questions about how easy it would be for me to move. And they were like, yeah, no, we would like to offer you the job. So I was like, thank you. And I was so shocked. I didn't even ask them about pay. I didn't ask them about when I would be starting.
How much am I going to get paid for this?
I didn't ask them anything. I literally just went home and handed in my resignation. Didn't ask them anything. So in hindsight, that was a bit crazy.
But that's so cool.
Yes.
What a cool story. That's unique.
That was God. I can't say it's anything else, because the way it just kind of panned out, and I learned on the job. So when I started then, I made some amazing friends who I'm still close with right now. And they were the ones who told me, you need to get yourself an accountant, you need to get an agent, you need to start doing classes, you need to. And that's how I learned, by being in the environment and just being around the right people.
A bachelor of doing it.
and so since that was 2006, I was meant to be there for 8 months. I ended up staying for 18 because I was having such a good time, and I just kept renewing my contract.
I'll get on the tube with smelly armpits for that job.
And I just thought, it's time for me to go back to London and see if I can do this full time when I get back. And since 2006 to now, I'm still working. So
it's just incredible. It's like so when did you? What were you playing in Paris? What character?
So I was playing Nala.
You were playing Nala.
Yes,
okay.
But it was slightly different because it was a condensed version. Each show was 30 minutes, and you do 2 or 3 shows a day.
Right.
And it was a half an hour show. Half an hour show. So you had 3 of each character.
Wow.
So there were 3 Nalas, 3 Scars, 3 Rafikis, and 3 Simbas. So it's just the 4 main characters, and then the dancers who would
make it look amazing.
Yes. It was to this day, it was one of the best shows I've ever done. And I think it's partly because I learned so much while I was doing it. But as I said, I have so many happy memories being there, and it's how I learned this industry, I guess.
I remember you telling me a story when I first met you in London years ago, and I was just like, jaw on the ground, like, this just does not happen. Seriously. But then what happened from there? What happened after Lion? Because that's been running for the most ridiculous long amount of time. Do you know how long it's been running? So the West End production has been running, this year's 20 years. 20, I thought so. I was going to say it's 20, isn't it? Yes. So that's crazy. How many years into that 20-year run were you doing?
I joined the West End production in 2010. So I started in 2010 after 6 years of auditioning.
And that's so good to hear.
Because I went for the first one and they told me no, but then I went to France. But so from 2006, every year I'd go in.
Wow, for the call, the Lion King call, the Lion King call, the Lion King call.
And what was interesting about that journey was the year I got it. They kept calling me back in, and it was for the Nala. I think it was for cover, but doing Shadowland Nala, and they just kept wanting to call me in, and I thought, I've sang this song how many times? They know me by now.
They must have loved your voice to keep calling you back.
I feel like they kind of saw something in me.
They saw something,
And I remember saying to my agent, you know what? I'm not coming back. I think I was away. I was somewhere, and I said, I'm not coming back into London just to sing one song. So she goes, but if you don't, you might not be in the finals. And I said, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And then I got called in for the finals anyway, and I got the part.
So
it was Sarabi cover Nala. But that was my entrance into the Lion King in the West End, and again, one of the best experiences I ever had.
I'm pretty sure I remember once I was going around the tube that your face was Nala on the posters.
The visual movement.
How did that feel for that level of success after such a season of years of perseverance and resilience? I mean, wow. To see your face as the lead on Lion King.
That was amazing. And I was also on Broadway because they had the same image there, Maya director who sent it to me said, look where you are. So I haven't physically been on Broadway yet.
But my face has
been there. It was amazing. Going up the escalator. My mum actually told me one time.
That's
she went into the West End because she doesn't go into central London.
Yeah.
But she purposely made a trip to the West End.
To look at the posters. And they were everywhere.
They were. So that was a great experience and something I really am grateful for.
Yeah.
I really can't complain.
No, it's really phenomenal. Can't. What happened from there? So you left, and when did you start playing in Bodyguard, or was there lots of things in between?
There's been bits in between.
Lots in between.
So going back, so when I left France and I came back to London and I got myself an agent and an accountant, I started the auditioning process, and I did a panto. I think the first thing what I did was a panto.
Oh, you can't be British without doing a panto.
So I did that, and then I went into Thriller Live. So that
I didn't know you were in Thriller Live. Were you there when Kofi Game was?
No.
Different season.
So I was there the year Michael Jackson died.
Oh no.
Yeah, so 2009 I was there. And I saw the difference from before he died to when he died, and all the flowers and being sold out and TV shows and everything. So,
and then that show, which was never made to be a tribute for his life, became that, didn't
basically,
it?
Yeah. So I did that for a year. And then I left that to go and I joined the Lion King the following year. Yeah. And I stayed there for 3.5, was it 3 or? Yeah, 3 years. Then I opened the first UK tour of the Lion King.
Oh, so you did the tour.
So I opened did that for a year. And then I left that to join the Bodyguard.
I see.
So that's when my time with the Bodyguard started. And again, I started as ensemble, cover Nikki, cover Rachel Marin. And then that
first cover, second cover, third cover.
I don't did they do first cover?
I don't know.
I feel like I was...
You were the...
I feel I must have been the first cover if they did it in that sequence. Yes. To be fair, I can't remember.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Actually, no, I was, because they had an alternate Rachel Marin.
Right.
Yeah, so I was first cover after the alternate. And that was only for 3 months because the lady Debbie Currip, who was Nikki Marin, she left.
Yeah.
And so then I took over as Nikki Marin and still cover Rachel.
How did it feel to sing Whitney Houston songs?
So I grew up
listening
to Whitney Houston.
so that's me.
Another lifetime
I am Whitney Houston.
Yeah, I love that lady. Her voice is beautiful.
Isn't it?
She's something else. She was something else. So it was, again, a great... And then also because I was singing alongside Beverly Knight.
Yeah.
Who is a British treasure.
Oh, yes.
So I thought, imagine little me, Carole Stennett, sitting next to Beverly Knight, this amazing woman.
Yeah.
And being on another West End stage. It was incredible.
What was that moment like that's famous where he held you and you're in his arms? And seriously, what did it feel like when you first did that?
That bit was fine. I think for me, the most kind of pivotal moment within that show is I Will Always Love You.
Oh, yeah.
And you've seen it when the podium goes up at the end. Yeah. For me, that was when I was like, wow, this is incredible. This moment.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is incredible.
I might have to insert a clip of your song here. My gosh, and you cannot get that sing wrong because it's a famous song and we know what the lyrics are.
It's not about you. You can embellish it a little, I guess.
Yeah.
But as you said, it's so iconic.
Yeah.
You have to stay true to what it is. And you don't really need to do too much to it because it's Whitney Houston.
It's stunning. It's the most stunning thing. So what about in the very rare times that you haven't worked and the whole auditioning process? How do you handle? Because you have had rejection. Everyone has. Tell me about that. Tell me about the not so wonderful times and how you handle that.
Okay, you know what? I feel like when you go through it initially, it's like your disaster. I'm like, what's going on with my life? What am I doing? I remember going in for one show. I won't say what it was. Yeah. And I think I knew going in that I wasn't going to get it. I don't know. Sometimes you can feel the vibe of the room.
I think so, yeah.
And I think it was because when I went in there, so the choreographer, she had her feet up on the table. She just
that's
like that.
Really professional.
The director was like, what part are you here for?
Wow.
And I thought, wow, you've asked to be seeing me and you don't even know what part you're seeing me for. So I didn't feel the vibe, I think. And then I hadn't had enough time to prepare the material for that part because I was working somewhere. Yeah. I can't remember where I was working. So anyway, I sang the song and it wasn't my best. Yeah. And I think you're always your own worst critic.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't a good one. And I remember when they said when I finished, they said, "Okay, thank you."
That's all for today.
And I knew I was going to cry. And I don't want to cry in front of the panel. So I was like, thanks. And I turned around and I ran.
Oh, because you're like, no.
Yeah, because I knew it was coming. And I normally, you can hold yourself until you get out of the building and you're like, ah. But I knew it was coming. So that's the first time and the last time, hopefully, that I'll ever run out of an actual audition crying. They didn't see me, but they obviously knew that it wasn't a good one. So I was obviously upset about that. But after about a day, I was like, you know what? There's nothing you can do about that anymore. It is the past. And it's not a reflection of you. Yeah. It's just you weren't right for that particular part. Yeah. And that's fine. You can't be right for everything. And you're unique and you're you for a reason. So don't take the opinion of somebody else as gospel. Yeah. You need to realise that doesn't define you. That's just a moment. It's fine. Yeah. We move on. And I think it takes a long while to get there.
It does, yeah.
But I've really learned over the years of having no's. For every no, there will be one yes. And I have had yeses. So I can't be that bad. So I tell myself, you can't be completely terrible.
You can't be that bad.
Yeah. So
have you ever made mistakes, like either in a live West End show or in an audition?
Oh, constantly. Sometimes now I just hold the sheet paper in front of me because and I don't know if it's as I get older, my memory is not what it used to be. It just doesn't retain things anymore. But I have, and I stopped beating myself up because we're human. And I think that's part of what makes us unique and special is the fact that we have flaws and nobody's perfect's boring. That's what I tell.
Really nice. Yeah.
So I that's how I look at it now. At the beginning, I was a disaster. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I kept apologizing. And you have to kind of just get to a point where when you go into casting, they aren't necessarily your judge and jury. Yes, most of the time they want you to get the job. Yeah. And you have to stop looking at them as your enemy and start looking at them as human beings as well, just wanting to find the right person for the job that they have. Yeah. And once you start looking at it like that, it's I don't know, it makes it easier to not be so hard on yourself. Yeah. And then also if it's a really bad audition and I just feel like, what's going on in my life? Yeah. I'll just go and buy something. Treat myself to something.
Like what? What's your guilty pleasure?
I've got a pair of Ray-Bans.
Oh, nice. So we're not talking like going to eat a bucket of ice cream.
No. I mean, sometimes I do. It depends on how bad the audition is. But I treat myself to Ray-Bans. I was like, you know what? You deserve this.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fine.
Good on you.
Yeah. So but then also I've had auditions. Like I had one recently where I thought I was terrible. I thought to myself, I wouldn't even employ you. And I got the job. So sometimes even though you think you've had a bad audition, it's not the case at all.
Maybe they've heard you do some other things. Maybe she's having a bad day.
Yeah, so you know what? We've seen her. She's fine.
She'll be all right.
So it really just depends. But just don't take it to heart.
It's really good advice. And you think success for you, it might be different for other people, but often people refer to it as success as it's hard for your faith. And I'm not hearing that necessarily, but has success made it harder?
It's made it harder maybe in terms of... No, it hasn't made it harder. It's made it maybe a bit... not tricky. I don't want to use that word because I feel like it's helped me to decide what types of jobs I want to go for. Yeah. As opposed to, I've never been the person, as I said, I love performing, but I like the fact that everything on my CV, I can stand behind and say, yes, I love doing this show. It's something that I'm passionate about and I believe in. So in that sense, it's helped me to kind of identify what it is I like and what type of performer I want to be, because you have different types of performers. There's nothing wrong with that. But some people just want to be continuously working.
Whether they like the show or not.
Exactly. And I like the fact that every project that I've been involved in, I've actually wanted to be in, and I feel like even now going forward, when I'm presented with something, if I don't like that the storyline or I'm not really passionate about it, I'm in a position where I can say thank you, but no, I think
instead of that's all, Carole, it's like that's all, guys.
So I think in terms of my faith, or in terms of it kind of gives me a kind of direction of what type of performer I want to be. So I don't know if it's harder. It just helps me to choose.
So you have turned down roles?
Yeah. So most of the time when I've turned down a role, to be honest, that is because it's clashed with something else.
Yeah, not like, I desperately need a job right now. What do you do between, like, Do you have betweens? You said you did.
I do occasionally.
What? Do you have another skill?
I'm a hustler.
How do you make money?
So there's so many different ways. So I still do session singing sometimes.
Good, yeah.
I sing with different function bands.
Is that weird when you're like on West End and then you do a little gig somewhere?
I like it because I feel like it just helps you to hone in your craft.
That's good.
And it helps you to just keep getting that audience participation and just working on different skills. Because I find because I've been primarily in musical theatre, it's one way of singing.
Yes,
and
true,
it's nice to kind of, I like jazz, I like soul, so it kind of just gives me that opportunity to explore.
Try something else.
Yeah, so I like that. What else have I done since I've not been?
You don't make coffee, clearly.
No, I've worked at a couple of performing arts schools as well as a singing teacher.
Good,
what else have I done? I recently got my chaperone license.
Wow, Mama Stennett backstage helping all the kids.
So that's another
great.
Yeah, so it's always about being creative and working out how I can do things that can also keep me free for auditions, but obviously pay bills. And then I just do acting classes or dance classes
to keep yourself going.
To kind of and live life. Try to socialise as well, so I can see. I hardly ever see friends.
Speaking of that, is that a hard work-life balance in the West End for you?
When it's in the West End, it's slightly different because I live in London. It's easier for me to make events and things because I can either go before a show or after a show. When it's a tour, I kind of I miss certain weddings or parties and things, which is a bit of a disaster sometimes because I love family and I love friends. So that can be hard, but I love being in the West End because, as I said, I can go home, see family, have a life kind of. So I prefer that.
I think I would definitely prefer that too because I'm married and I just wouldn't want to be away. Is it all your agent when it comes to work? Or do you put a lot of effort into getting jobs?
I feel like I should do more. But sometimes I get a bit, not lazy, but I do depend on my agent a lot of the time. And I've also, because I've started to build a name, a lot of people maybe will have seen me in a show. And then will get in touch with my agent and say, we'd like to see her for this.
And then, that's good.
It's a bit of everything. But I feel like I could be more proactive, but at the same time, I'm like, how?
Because, if it's not like a year of waiting, then you probably don't feel the need necessarily.
So, I'm proactive when it comes to function bands, things like that. I'll do that myself. But when it comes to West End or musicals,
you've got people working for you.
You want to be seen for this? You want to see you for that. So,
do you feel like it's this funny expression that we all use in the industry? Do you feel like you've made it?
No.
It's funny because I thought you'd say that. And the whole word of making it is an interesting concept, isn't it? Like, yes, I think you could say you've been successful, but what do you think it means to make it?
For me, I feel if you've made it, it kind of feels like you're complete. You've got to the pinnacle, or you've done what you need to do to rest, kind of. And I always feel, for me, as soon as I get comfortable in something, it's time for me to move on to the next thing. And the fact that I still feel like that, I feel like I haven't made it yet, or it makes me feel like there's still more.
There's more.
I made it in terms of my West End goals because I always wanted to play Nala in the West End, and I've done that. So in that sense, I've made it, and everything else is a bonus, I guess, in that sense. But I don't feel like I've made it.
It's so funny because it seems like that. There's this great expression I heard recently: I don't want to make it, I just want to make. I just want to be doing. I want to be creating, I want to be doing, and I think that's a really good thing. So you were talking a bit about your support network. How important is your support network?
It's so important. I think that's what keeps you grounded. It's what keeps you humble. My especially my immediate family, one of my sisters in particular, she keeps me in check. I've never had a big head, I don't think, anyway.
You don't seem to have a big head.
But if I ever kind of say, I'm going to be doing this or something like that, she'll be like, calm down.
I saw you on the tube anyway.
Whatever.
Do you think she actually feels like that?
I think they're proud. She's proud. I think they're all proud of me and the fact that I'm achieving what I've gone out there and I've achieved what I want. but at the same time, I'm not saving lives, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like, take a chill pill, it's all good, just calm down. So I think it's so important to have people around you just to keep you in a check of reality. Just to know, yes, it's good to do what you love to do, but it's not the be all or end all. There's other things in life, and I think it keeps you grounded to kind of remember that you're not above anyone. So that's chill.
It's true, and it's funny because there's always someone above you anyway. It's like this is a different question, just sort of different slant for a second. But how do you handle difficult people or directors that you work with? I mean, there's difficult people. We know that.
I have been fortunate. I'm trying to think of a director that's been difficult, because that would be difficult. If there's difficult people in your cast or around, I just avoid them if I can. I mean, there's you're not going to get on with everybody. No. That's just life. Everybody's different, and that's fine. And if it's a cast member, you just they're in the room. Okay, you just go to the
you'll sit on the other side.
You can just not avoid, but you just distance yourself, and that's fine, just because I think peace is important. You don't want to be stressed out at work. But I'm just trying to think of a director, because that would be different. You can't really avoid a director, and I think I've been fortunate that every show I've been in, I can't think of a director that's annoys me to the point where I'm like, what would I do? Or is it slightly abusive or? No, I've been very fortunate. I've not had anybody that's
really nice to hear that.
And I'm trying to think, no. But I feel like, don't get me wrong, there's been challenges, and I think that's more on me having to push myself to be the best me I can be. For example, Lion King, as I said, the dance is not my strongest point, and I had to really discipline myself to train and to get physically fit, and to be the best Nala I could be rather than trying to compare to anybody else. But for me, I always think that people who come to see a show, regardless of West End or wherever, they're paying money, and if they're paying a certain amount of money, they should get a certain kind of show in return. So I felt for myself, I can't give them a half performance. I need to give my best performance every time I go on that stage. So I think I would beat myself up and say, come on, you can do better than that. What are you doing? So I think I would be hard on myself in that sense. But a director, no.
It's really nice to hear that. Do you have like any little ritual you do? Like, do you get nervous still?
Yes. I get nervous when people I know are watching.
Funny.
If it's people I don't know and the lights are down, I just feel like they're silhouettes. They're not real.
They're not real people.
But if I know my mum's in and I hear her laughing,
oh no,
I'm finished. But what I do, I always, I haven't, with most shows, depending on what it is that I'm nervous about. So at the beginning of The Bodyguard, for example, you get the 5-minute call before beginners, and I'd go down onto the stage and just find a little corner and have a little prayer, just by myself, just saying, you know what, God, thanks for the opportunity, help me to make this the best performance it can be, just to kind of psych myself up, because at the beginning of the show, you fall off the lighting dress, and I don't do heights.
Oh no! So I remember that now. I forgot about that.
So to psych myself up for that, I kind of had to get into the right mindset and just be like, there's a reason why you're doing this.
Wow!
You can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Oh my God!
So I go through that, and I'd just talk myself through it and say, you've got this, you can do this.
I really like that. Your self-talk sounds really healthy.
I have to really constantly talk to myself, just because I can get into my own head and I can talk myself out of things. And be like, you're going to fall. No, you're not going to fall. Well, you are, but you're going to get caught, so it's fine. But
and get yourself into a panic.
And then obviously that's the start of a show, and once you start, you don't stop. Especially as Rachel Marin, you're constantly.
You're on every scene.
So I'm like, I've got to keep going. So I have to get myself in the right headspace. To do a show.
What about, how do you maintain your health and your physicality and your voice and just all of that? Because obviously you are your instrument.
Water, keep hydrated, definitely. Rest. I try to sleep as much as I can, which is sometimes hard, because if the show finishes after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get home, you can't go straight to bed. You need to wind down.
True. Yeah.
So you usually get to bed about 2-3 in the morning.
Wow.
So that means you get, I get up early. I try not to have to try and force myself to stay in bed because I naturally get up about 7-8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So then you're not getting enough sleep and your voice isn't getting enough time to kind of repair and stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to just rest as much as possible. I don't go to the gym.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
You're so fun. You're probably all the walking around on the tube and the stairs. Oh my gosh, since being back, I'm like, my body.
I recently started to do Pilates.
Good.
And I try to do yoga, but I just need to I try to do things that are stretching exercises and things where I can just clear my mind.
Yeah.
Basically. I go through phases where I do eat healthily.
Yeah.
I've done veganuary for the
Very
last
nice.
3 years with my siblings.
Nice.
And then I'm kind of a pescatarian now.
Yeah.
But my weakness is the chocolates.
Oh yeah, we've got some more chocolates.
No more for me.
You've moved the plate away.
So yeah.
I have to do that too. Physically remove the object.
Yeah, because that's my weakness. Chocolate. Is
so good.
Like,
what a gift.
So
is chocolate.
So I have to kind of stay away purposefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just try to stay active as in walking. Gym is not for me at all.
Yeah, don't blame you. It's not for everybody. Yeah.
It's not. But as long as I do a bit of stretching or walking, yoga.
And obviously you're not necessarily going for dance ensembles, so you're probably not feeling the need to still maintain a triple pirouette or whatever.
I wish I could do one.
I wish I could do one pirouette.
I've got better actually. I'm happy. I was going to say I am proud of myself in that sense that I can see since I started the Bodyguard to where I left, that journey's been interesting as well.
Yeah.
So I've done that for 5 years on and off. I've been with the Bodyguard.
Yeah.
I went back this year. Well, last year.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I can't leave.
Yeah.
And seeing how I've grown in confidence in the character and in my stage performance. And I was like, yes, Carole.
Oh.
I wouldn't know if I'd call myself a dancer yet. I still feel more comfortable with the movement section.
Yes, I'm a mover.
But from where I was to where I ended, I'm like, I'm happy.
It's really
with
nice
that.
to
So
hear
I said
that. Yeah.
Definitely.
That, it never really stops, does it? Always learning and Have you ever had anything that takes you off a show, whether it's like laryngitis or
yes. Oh gosh, that was terrible too because I like to talk.
Yeah, me too.
And for 2 weeks, Bodyguard, it was with the Bodyguard, we were on tour and I could feel my voice was going, but I didn't know why. And I thought I will come back tomorrow, and it just kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then I went to the doctors and like, no, you've got laryngitis.
Really
you need
bad.
to just stop talking.
Wow.
Take these antibiotics. Blah blah blah. So I was off and trying to write down things just to say,
I'm on vocal rest.
Yeah, which is so annoying. Or trying to sign, I can't do sign language. Okay. Don't whisper. So yeah, that was annoying because you've lost your voice. I felt like I'd lost everything because that's what I do. I sing.
Yeah, that's hard.
So losing my voice was it made me appreciate it that much more when it came back.
Yeah.
And so now I steam, I make sure I as I said, keep hydrated. Also I get acid reflux. So I try to not have spicy foods anymore. The doctor told me not to eat after 8:30, which doesn't really especially with your lifestyle, because you finish a show, I'm hungry after a show. Yeah. So if I do eat, I make sure I don't go to bed straight away.
Yes, yeah.
So I just try.
You're doing all the right things.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. When I'm not in a show, I kind of fall out of these habits, though. This is the problem.
Yeah,
I'm on my own schedule. So
yeah.
it's
so
easy.
Cool. So just to close, like what advice, encouragement from your journey of Carole's journey, what is the thing that you sort of feels the message of your heart for, somebody else that you could encourage?
For me, and it would be regardless of what your industry is, regardless of what you do, I'd say trust God and put him first. Yeah. Because when you do that, I tell you, the doors just open. And as I said, the way my career started, I can't say it's an accident. It really was God ordained. That's how I see it. Yeah. And he's been constantly faithful, because there's been so many times, as I said, when I've had my downtime, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got a job next. What's happening next? And that feeling of fear, because you don't know how you're going to pay your next bill or whatever. And there's been so many times like, I'm going to quit, I'm just going to go and find another career path and do something else. and then I'll get a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, good, thanks.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say trust, have faith, and even when you can't see, just step out in faith and trust that he has got your back. And I could just say he really has got mine, because there's been so many times. And also say what you want as well. Be specific in what you want, because this year I was like, okay, I've done the touring thing. I want to be back in my house. I just want to be in London with my family. Let me get a job in London. And I have. So that's good. So just trust him.
Be specific.
And, be specific about what you want. And patient as well. And also just don't look at what other people are doing. Just focus on your journey, because especially with this social media, this world of social media,
it's scary.
It'll make you feel like you're not achieving anything when you look at what other people are doing. Don't watch them. Do your own,
it's your own path. That's so powerful and so true. So I thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I love chatting to you.
Phew, today's masterclass is done. I love reaching back and saying, I've done this, and helping you learn the easy way. If you want more, head to larabiancapilcher.com for show notes, links, freebies, my blog, coaching and courses, and you can also head to my socials, Lara Bianca Pilcher on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest. Thanks again for listening. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That would mean the world to me, and I will give you a shout out. And of course, keep on living the healthy, wealthy, wise artist living towards your dream life. Bye, friends. P.S. Shout out to my hottie hubby, Andrew Pilcher, who does all the editing on this podcast.